You know what's crazy about this episode? At first, it feels like the rookie is just throwing chaos at us. Assassins, spy games, AI, returning villains. But if you really pay attention, this episode is actually about one thing: control. And nobody's losing control faster right now than Wesley Evers. Let's start with the biggest confusion everyone had, because I know a lot of people missed this the first time. When Elijah Stone shows up on those courthouse steps and tells the world that Wesley had an affair with Monica, the show wants you to panic. Because for a second, it feels like everything we know about Wesley is a lie. But here's the truth the episode slowly reveals. Wesley did cheat, but not on Angela. He cheated on Monica in the past. And that changes everything. Because this isn't just some random scandal thrown in for drama. This is the writers digging into something deeper about Wesley. Before he became the man we respect, before Angela, before the family, Wesley was flawed. And more importantly, he hurt someone and that someone is Monica. Now here's where the episode gets smart, and honestly, where a lot of fans didn't fully connect the dots. Monica isn't just helping Wesley out of kindness. She's not doing it for revenge either. What she wants is closure. For years, she's been carrying this pain, not just because he cheated, but because he never acknowledged it. No apology, no accountability, nothing. So when she tells Angela that Wesley has to come to her himself, that's not manipulation. That's emotional justice. She's forcing him to finally face the version of himself he buried. And when Wesley finally sits in front of her, that moment is bigger than the campaign, bigger than the scandal, because for the first time he admits, I hurt you. No excuses, no politics, just truth. And that's why Monica helps him. Not because he's innocent, but because he finally became honest. Now here's where things get even more interesting, and honestly, darker than people realize. Because while Wesley is trying to do the right thing, everyone around him, is playing dirty. You've got Vivian Eckert, who is clearly not just running a campaign, she's orchestrating attacks. Think about it. Elijah doesn't just randomly show up. He's placed there, timed perfectly, press ready, cameras rolling. That's not chaos, that's strategy. And then there's Zuzu. This is the part a lot of people brushed off as random, but it's actually one of the most important clues in the episode. Zuzu offers Angela a file that could destroy Vivian completely. Untraceable, clean, devastating. Basically, an instant win. But Angela deletes it, and that decision tells you everything about the difference between Wesley and his opponent. Because Wesley is losing the race. Not because he's weak, but because he refuses to win the wrong way. Now, let's talk about the question a lot of fans are asking: who's really behind everything? Who's pulling the strings? Because if you look closely, this episode is hinting that the DA race isn't just politics. It's power being traded behind the scenes. Elijah's involvement, Zuzu suddenly choosing sides, Vivian's perfectly timed attacks, it all points to one thing. There are bigger forces at play. People or systems that are investing in who becomes DA, because that position controls prosecutions, cases, and who gets protected or exposed. So when people ask who took the money or who's benefiting, the real answer is follow who gains control. And right now, Vivian is playing like someone who already has backing. Meanwhile, Wesley is out here trying to fight a clean campaign in a system that clearly isn't clean. And that's why this episode feels uncomfortable, because it's not just about whether Wesley wins, it's asking a bigger question. Can someone like Wesley even survive in this kind of system without becoming like them? Now let's quickly touch on the Bailey and Spy storyline, because honestly, this is where the episode kind of distracts you. Yes, the action was fun. Tim and Lucy working together, Nolan going full protective mode, the whole team jumping in. But let's be real, this plot exists more as noise than substance. Even Zuzu's involvement here feels less about Bailey and more about showing that power is floating around everywhere. Anyone can use it. Anyone can weaponize it. And that connects right back to Wesley, because while others are using every tool available, he's choosing restraint. And that might be his biggest strength or the exact reason he loses everything. So by the end of the episode, we're left with the real tension. Monica cleared his name, but the damage already done. Because in politics and in this world, truth doesn't matter as much as timing. And Wesley is always reacting, while everyone else is already 3 steps ahead. So the real question isn't just, can Wesley win the DA race? It's, what will it cost him if he does? And honestly, that's the kind of question that could define the rest of the season. If you caught something deeper in this episode that most people missed, drop it below. Because this one, it's way more layered than it looks.